I just burst into tears. I just burst into tears. Burst, and I'm not just at that moment. I mean, for days after, I would just remember and just burst into tears. He didn't give me love in the way I wanted it. But actually, sometimes you have to understand, sometimes people can only give you love in the way they know how to.
And again, that's a very important part to touch on, because if they've not received that love, people never touch on this.
Barkley say, what do you want? What job do you want? We can't let you go anywhere else. And I'm like, I want to be a financial advisor. And like, okay. And I become the youngest financial advisor in Barclays in the country.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Emmanuel Asuquo, the financial expert, the financial advisor that you will see on your social media channels, all over your TV screens. So the guy needs no introduction. So Emmanuel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Right, Big Lewis, man, thank you for having me. You know, listen, it's a pleasure. Like, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to, you know, you see people online and like when you reached out, I get so many people that like ask me, come on your pod, come on, and I'm like, first thing I do is just look at their page, and I'm just like, yeah, no, you're my type of guy, man. So it's an honour to be here, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much, and that means a lot. It means a lot. It really does. Emmanuel, take me back to Limehouse. What was it like growing up then?
Nah, you know what, it was, I don't know, man. I always tell people, like, when I look back, I can see the problems, but when you're in it, you don't see it as much because it's your environment. It's all you know. Everybody's poor. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's just trying to, you know, get by and so forth. So that was just the norm. So it almost became like, it wasn't a problem. I remember like when I was at school, if you didn't have like free school meals, there was a ticket for free school meals, and there was a ticket if you paid for your meals. And if you had a ticket where your parents paid, you like, oh, you're rich, like, and you could get bullied for that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how come you're not doing free school meals, like type thing. So it was that type of, like, nobody had nothing. There weren't really much dreams other than just playing with your mates and just having a good time. And yeah, that was Limehouse. Got my parents, they're Nigerian, born in Nigeria, come over here. I'm the first person in my family to be born in the UK. So there's a lot of conflict. Like, so you're outside and you're like, okay, I'm in London, I'm in the UK. But you get home, it's like you're back in Nigeria and you got all those rules and regulations, and you just got to try and find a balance.
Because people that see you on TV now and all over your social media don't really realise what you've been through in order to get there.
Yeah, they don't.
Tell me about the bucket situation.
So, the bucket situation. What are we talking
about? Your shower.
Oh my goodness.
This just proves how much research I've done.
You've done the research. No, you've done it. So basically, like in my house, we didn't have baths. Like, obviously that's waste of water. And we didn't have a shower. So, and obviously my parents are used to doing this, coming from Nigeria in the village is very normal. So we had buckets of water. So back in my parents' day, you'd have to go to the river, get the water, take it back home. Do you know what I mean? And then the household would have to manage that water. And so they had that same mentality. It was normal for them. So we had a bucket. So you'd have a bucket. You'd fill up with a certain amount of hot water, and then you had to put in cold. If you put in too much, you now have a lukewarm bath, but you've just got to manage this one bucket. My parents, obviously, again, because the water that they used to use in Nigeria wasn't clean, so they used to put in Dettol in it. So we'd be here, my parents would put Dettol in the water. So I would go to school and I'd just smell like antibacterial Dettol. Do you know what I mean? Because the smell is so strong. But that's what they were used to putting stuff in the water, because obviously the water they used to had bacteria and stuff like that. So it was just like, when I think about it now, it's just like, that was the standard. So when I talk about cutting costs, like, they used to save money there on water, save money on everything. Like, and yeah, it was crazy because it was the norm. It wasn't until we moved house and we got a shower. I was like, oh wow, people are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, but for a good period of my time, we just had a bucket. Everyone had a bucket. That was how it worked.
That's absolute madness. And yeah, blow my mind, to be honest. But obviously for someone like myself,
yeah,
it's obviously my upbringing wasn't so much like yours. Obviously, I had a shower in some houses, but it wasn't. I didn't have a bucket, man. But there'll be certain people out there that can relate to that situation. and cutting, especially now that with the times we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
So for people listening that are in that situation now, so what can you advise on doing to save, bringing costs down?
Yeah, I think people really need to think about where is their money going. So the big thing I always tell people is actually look at your outgoings. Like, for a lot of us, we work so hard for our money. Like, you go to work, you might not even like your job. You're there all those hours. You know, sometimes you have to stay late. Sometimes you have to get in early. You got train delays, strikes, cancellations, all of these types of things to make this money. But yet, when we get paid, we let it go so easily. And for me, it's about looking at where is your money actually going. So for a lot of people, most people's expenditure is on food. And then obviously, like, you know, with the cost of living, the energy crisis that we're going through now. So gas and electricity has just gone through the roof. So for me, it's about looking at are there ways that you can save money? Things like, can I get a smart meter and be able to keep track of it, actually see what's going on? You know, are there, like, you know, different light bulbs we can use? Are we heating the whole house when we're only in one room? You know, little things like that where you start to think, well, actually, you can switch off the heaters on each individual room. It's a bit of effort, because obviously you'd like to be able to just switch it on and the whole house is warm when you want the whole house to be warm. But actually, if you switch them off, then you just heat the rooms that you're in. Also, you can get smart radiators as well, so where you could add the technology, and then you can do it on your phone and put the heating on only in the rooms that you're using to be more energy efficient. Draft proofing. Some of us have got windows that have got little cracks and doors that are letting it, and it just makes the house colder. So you got to think about that. Are we wearing the right clothes at home? Do you know what I mean? Have we got sofas that are blocking the radiators? And little things like this will keep up the cost. But then also food. Are you planning your meals? I sit down with people and it's like, they'll do a weekly shop. Then on top of that, they'll still buy a breakfast in the morning. They'll buy lunch. They'll come home. They'll be like, I don't feel like that. They'll order a takeaway. And it's just a lot of wastage. And actually, you need to plan your money and plan your spending and so forth. So it's little things like that where if you can start to plan it and plan where your money's going, you'll be able to save a bit.
And obviously, we're going to come on to that because that is part of your current role,
yes,
if you will. But as we know, it didn't start like that for yourself.
No.
And there was a rocky road that led up to that.
Yeah.
So when you were sitting in your room looking at Canary Wharf, explain that to me, man.
Like, people that have to, like, I always tell this story, people have to understand, like, Canary Wharf, like, to other people, like, you just drive past it, you see the buildings. To me, Canary Wharf was like my escape. It was like somewhere that I dreamed I could get to. Like, life must be different there. And I always tell people the story, like, basically in my house, if you left the light on in the kitchen, you get beats. Like, I mean, you could get real licks, like. And so for me, like, thinking this one light bulb and I'm getting licks. And then I go to my room, look out the window, Canary Wharf, the Barclays building, HSBC, but all the buildings, all the lights, and everyone's gone home. And in my young mind, it just told me, look, there must be money over there. Like, they can afford to leave the lights on. And so because of that, I was like, I've got to get over there. That's what I've got to work there. And, you know, I used to just look at that window. Sometimes you put my head so close to the window that, you know, the window, my forehead would start to get cold. I just literally just sit there dreaming about, oh, yeah, I want to be on, I bet you on that floor they do this, and I bet you on that floor they do that, and I bet you over there, and thinking about all the different roles and jobs and what I could do and how my life would be different if I got over there. And I feel like, you know, we all have sight, but we don't all have vision. And like, for me, Canary Wharf became my vision for myself. So, and I feel like a lot of people that grew up around the area just saw the buildings, just saw them for what they were. Buildings, head offices. For me, I saw my future. And so that gave me a vision to try and get there. And by 22, you know, I managed to do it. And it was a long road, loads of ups and downs, but just having a vision for yourself can make all the difference.
Explain the difference for yourself, because for people that don't know, obviously there's a large part of that you've missed out, that everyone can have a vision, but you've taken action well before that. Obviously, I know part of the story, but that's because I've made it my business to know the story. And I've followed you for a very long time.
Wow, thank you, man.
And it's such an amazing story that it needs to be shared. It needs to be shared. The fact that, in fact, no, you tell it. How did it start? So I know that you looked at Canary Wharf.
So I looked at Canary Wharf. That was a dream. But you know, my dad's an accountant. He was studying his ACCA to be qualified. My mum was a dinner lady, and she did that so she could be at home. She did that so she can make sure she had a job where she was at home. A lot of my friends, their parents were working 2 or 3 jobs, so they couldn't. There was no one at home, so they were raised by the streets and obviously lived a different life. Do you know what I mean? But my mum made sure we're home, so I had to be in my house. Do you know what I mean? I used to finish school, pick up my sisters, come home, and my mum would get home, and so that was my life. And so at school, I went to a school called Bow Boys. Probably one of the worst schools in the borough. At the time, it was like 5 A to C's. That was the big thing. So if you got 5 A to C's in your GCSEs, my school, the number of people that got 5 A to C's was less than 5%. So to put it into context for people at home, you're more likely coming from my school to end up in prison than you are to end up in uni. That was the environment that we're in. Like the education, the people at loads of people at the bottom set. So there were 5 sets. If you're in set 4 or 5, a lot of the time you didn't have to do certain studies. They just let you do plumbing courses, or they know that you're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna need your GCSEs. You know what I mean?
No, that's what happened to me. Yeah.
So a lot of
they gave up.
Yeah, they just gave up on us. Yeah. And that's it. They're just like, don't worry about it. Just go and do a plumbing course. Go and do. And so they would. So like a lot of the time when we go do PE, my other friends were like, no, you're not doing PE. You're going on a plumbing course. You're going on an electrician course, bricklaying course. You're going. These are because.
The thing is, we're just not made for that. I'm not made to be a plumber.
Exactly.
And I think it's important that people realise that school is good and it teaches you certain things. It teaches you certain skills. There is a different way of learning.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where your next part of life comes in.
Exactly. So basically, I leave school with 4 GCSEs, and my head of year basically was so proud of me because of obviously the development that I got. He wrote a letter so I could get into college. So I went to the college. They were like, "Oh, you've only got 4. You need 5. You can't do your course." I went back and my head of year gave me a letter. They were like, "All right, we'll let you do the course," because the letter was that impactful to them. So they let me do the course. Did the course. Then went to uni. Uni I got unconditional because I played basketball, so they didn't worry about my grades. So I got through to uni. And then at uni I started working. So I started working at Marks and Spencer's because my dad, once I turned 18, my dad was like, "You can't be 18 and not working in my house." That was it. So I had to get a job. Like literally, my birthday was on the 27th. On the 28th, he came in my room. He was like, "You got to get a job or you got to get out." Like, I'm not having an 18-year-old in my house not making money. It's that type of mindset. So I got a job in Marks and Spencer's, 5 a.m. in the morning. And I always tell people, like, at 5 a.m. in the morning, it's just you and the foxes. Like, just me and the foxes on the street. You know when you live so close to something, there's no bus that you can take. You have to get the DLR. So I'm walking on the street, the foxes all over the place. And it's just like this drive, like, okay, I'm coming here, I'm working. But I remember the first paycheck that I got and I was like, I have money. Like, when you've never had money, like, I mean real money, like I must have got paid like £800. I've never seen £800 in my life in my account. Like, I'm used to getting £10, £15. You know, you go to a party and then everyone dances and then the parents like throw money at you. That's like the most of money you get all at once. And even then you give that to your mum, you never see it again. So like, to actually have £800, I was like, no, I like this. I got options. I got money. Like, okay, cool. And then I just started to think, okay, well, I'm at Canary Wharf. I wanted to get to Canary Wharf. I got to Canary Wharf. I'm at Marks and Spencer's, but I got to Canary Wharf. I used my experience at Marks and Spencer's to get a job as a cashier at Barclays. So now I'm in Barclays. I'm a cashier. And I always tell the importance of mentorship. I don't know about you. Did you ever have a mentor, like someone that like just saw you and said, oh, I want to mentor you, I want to add value to your life?
Yeah, and I think it started from an early age.
Yeah.
It started from, without recognising it, it started from I had, now I think about it too.
Yeah.
I had one that was in sport.
Yeah.
One at school.
Yeah.
And then one being my granddad.
Oh, amazing.
But it's only when you sit back and go, actually, yeah, I did. Shit, I didn't even know that was called a mentor.
Exactly.
But you just think, oh, actually, yeah, the PE teacher, obviously that was his kind of job.
Yeah.
He actually mentored me in different things, life skills.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, many different roles. Let's say in business, not so much I had to learn and fail.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't say fail, but the learnings that I've had from that have been absolutely amazing.
Of course. And so I had this guy, Hakeem, amazing guy. He's the branch manager. I've never seen a branch manager that's like 4 or 5. I'm young, so I was 18. I was 19 when I started, and he was like 25. And you think, never saw a branch manager that young as a branch manager. And so we got on really well. But I was kind of, because we got on so well, I was just relaxed. I was part-time because I was studying, so you know they say come in at 8:45 to do the morning meeting. And I'm like, I'm coming at, my contract says 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at 9 o'clock. So you come at, I'm getting in, I've got my little McDonald's in my hand, I'm coming in with the customers, and like, I'll see you in a minute. It just doesn't look right, do you know what I mean? So he pulls me to the side and he's like I like you and that, but you've got the personality to do well in this business, but you're just not applying yourself. And he tells me this one thing that changes my life. He says, if you're on time, you're late. And I didn't understand what he was saying. If you're on time, you're late. I'm like, if I'm on time, I'm on time. You told me a time, I'm on that time. That must be good. So if you're on time, you're late. And basically, what I realized, what he's saying, and why I apply it still till today, is if for you to be early to somewhere, you have to plan. You have to thought out how long is it going to take me to get there. What if there's an accident? What if there's traffic? What if a train gets cancelled? You are preparing yourself for your day. So you are going into your day rather than the day taking you. And for a lot of us, the alarm clock, you snooze it. Oh no, you woke up late. You're running. You might not even have a bath. You've now just put your clothes on, sprayed perfume, got out of your house. You're drinking a coffee. You forgot to brush your teeth. Like there's all of. What kind of day are you gonna have? Do you know what I mean? Because you're already chasing the day. But if you're on time, if you're planning to be early for somewhere, you've planned, so you know what time you're going to get up. You don't need to stress. You know what time you're going to get up. You know what train you're going to get. You know, even if that train gets cancelled, you can get the next one and still make it on time. So it's all about really preparing yourself. So I started that. So I set my clock half an hour early and then tried to get everywhere half an hour early. I'm turning up an hour early to everywhere. So now I get there. I get to the branch an hour early. Who's there? The branch manager. I'm there with Hakeem. So now people are waiting. They're doing their one-to-ones once a month. I'm getting mine every morning when I go into work. And so we're talking, he's teaching me, take the booklets out of the banking hall, read that on the train. He's like, what are you doing on the train? I'm like, I'm playing Snake. You know, with them times, it was not like we had
Nokia 3310.
Yeah, we've got Nokias. You ain't got all this stuff there. You know what I mean? I'm playing Snake. It's like, put your phone down, read the brochures. What's a credit card? What's this? He's like, learn it. And so I learn it. And then he's like, now, you got personality. When you speak to your customers, use your personality and let them buy into you, and then tell them about the things that you've read in the booklet. I start to tell them, do you know that? You can get a credit card. Do you understand why you need a better savings account? Do you know that you could get a mortgage? And so I start doing all, but just using my personality. What used to get me kicked out of class, just being funny and whatever. It got to the point now I'm doing that now. People are queuing for me. And those times, everyone uses the bank. So the bank queue is crazy, especially at lunchtime. Everyone comes out of work. You need to get your stuff done. And people would wait. They'd be like, no, I'm waiting for Manny. I want Manny. I want Manny to serve me. And it was just like, wow. Like, sometimes, like, the skills that you have in the wrong environment are going to make you feel like, you don't belong. But when you find the right environment for your skills, all of a sudden you shine. And so I just started to shine and just enjoyed working in the bank. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to apply myself. So then I started to kill it. I remember I'm a cashier. That's the lowest job in the branch. I got the lowest job out of it. I could have used that as an excuse to say, I'm only a cashier. What should I expect? I'm not going to go hard. I'm only a cashier. That's what we do. I'm only sweeping the roads. I'm only an admin. We put an only on everything. But if you're adding value, you're so important to that business. And I made myself so important to the business that by the time I finished my degree, Barclays said, what do you want? What job do you want? We can't let you go anywhere else. And I'm like, I want to be a financial advisor. And I'm like, okay. And I become the youngest financial advisor in Barclays in the country. Me, from a council estate, 4 GCSEs, so many different excuses that I could have made to why I couldn't be here. And now I'm here. And it's all because of the hard work, the mentorship, but also, having that vision and that dream and that goal for yourself.
And also taking the action. And I think that's an important part,
Yeah.
that you need to be able to take the action.
Yeah.
And you've done that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the incredible part about it, is that you've actually listened. It's all right having a mentor, but you've got to do the work.
You got to be teachable. You know how much people are not coachable?
Yeah.
They want a mentor, someone tells you what to do, and you don't do it.
Mm.
It's so frustrating. Like, it's so frustrating.
And I think that obviously over the years, that obviously your early years, even into your teenage years, that you could have gone a completely different path.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. When I tell you, like, I could have, especially when I got in the bank. I got in the bank, and no, I don't want to leave to the stereotype or anything like that, but I'm Nigerian, in a bank. Do you know how many people I know do fraud? And they're messaging me, E-man, just give me an account. I promise you, they're never going to find out. I had so much people around me. Fraud. E-man, drugs. I've got money. Tell me an account. And I just had to just ignore it. I had to put the phone down. I had to stop talking to people. There were certain parties I wouldn't go to because I know that in those parties, people know that I work in a bank. They're going to target me. And I'm going to feel the peer pressure. So I just wouldn't be in those environments. People go away on holiday. I'm not going because this person's going. I don't want to be around them.
Mm.
And I'd say it now, like, when my friends are going, like, some of my friends look at me now and they're like, oh, E-man, you're the man. Everyone, you're on TV, you're doing this, you're living life. And I'm like, okay. But when I was studying to be a financial advisor, when I was doing, you guys are going Cancun, you're going Ibiza, I didn't go. And it's like, for me, I always tell people, you have a choice. You can enjoy when you're young and have a really, really good time. And then you get to the point where you have kids and all of that, and all of a sudden you got to start working, and you're in your 30s, 40s, and you're just working, and you're like, I'm working like a dog. And guess what? Your bones are tired, your energy's low.
It's
real life. Like, you wake up, you got back pain, you never went to bed with no pain, you gone to see, you woke up, you got a new pain, you're like, what is this? Like, or you can do it when you're young, full of energy, where even if you make mistakes, and you got the comfort zone of being in your parents' home, so your costs are low, so you can afford to make mistakes and do it then, and then enjoy later. And so now I'm enjoying. A lot of my friends are grinding. They're putting in 10, 12 hours a day into somebody else's dream, working for somebody else, trying to just get over the hill and build a business for themselves or get enough money so they can do what they want to do. And it's like, I've already done that. I did that while you guys were enjoying.
And I think that's important to realise, is that you're building someone else's dream.
Yeah, someone else's dream.
Whilst you could be building your own.
Yeah, and people, we can call it what you like, work, job, whatever. For me, it's somebody else's dream. Someone had a dream to create something, and now they can afford to pay you. And when you start to see it like that, you have to ask yourself, why am I not dreaming? Why am I not having a dream and I can pay someone else?
That's powerful. That's that's powerful. Why? Obviously, I know you said you got the vision, but why was you different?
Why was that different? I think it's knowing my why. I think that is it. I knew my why. My mum, growing up on my estate, is mainly Bangladeshi, and the boys used to stand in a group and they just used to spit while they talked.
What, MC?
No.
I thought you said MC.
I know. I thought it was MC, and I used to like spit on the floor, like literally spit while they're just standing there. And then obviously when they finished whatever, they'd leave, and then there's just this pool of spit on the stairs. We got,
Fucking got bad manners. I thought you meant spitting.
Yeah. So then, like, on the stairs, they left bones all over the place. Like, the hygiene levels was really, really bad. But my mum had a bad knee, and she used to limp. And so there's times where she's tried to avoid it, but she's slipped in it, so she's fallen in people's spit. She's been on the stairs and struggled. And I remember one time, and this broke my heart. I remember coming home. We lived on like the second floor, and she just couldn't. She got to like the third flight of stairs and she couldn't hack it. She couldn't hack it, and she had to just stop. And she was just literally just sitting in all this dirt, and I was just like, Mum, what's going on? She's like, I have to stop. And she just had to. What could she do? She couldn't go any further. And I was just like, no, I know, because my mum do everything for us. Literally, she's getting up every day with pain, going to work to make money to support us and help us. And I'm like, your investment in me will not be wasted. I told my mum, your investment in me will not be wasted. You will never regret getting up and working for me.
What happened next?
I told my mum. From there, I told my mum, my mum told me, son, you know you're my pension. I never forget this. She told me, son, you know you're my pension. I didn't even know what a pension was. She's like, son, you're my pension. I'm like, I don't even know what a pension is, but okay, no problem. And obviously, growing up, learning it, but from there, I was like, man, like, you've got to find a way. Do you know, like, sometimes you think to yourself, like, okay, I'm not the smartest person, my grades or whatever. And it's like what you said. Actually, I was really clever. I just didn't know my learning style. And so what happened was when I got the qualifications at Barclays, a 70% pass mark. To pass is 70%. I've never seen 70% in my life. But they gave us a tutor at Barclays. They gave us a tutor. And when I got a tutor, she was like, no, stop. What are you doing? This is not how you learn. And the tutor showed me how I learn, how I take in information. And once I understood how I take in information, which is different from how they teach us at school, all of a sudden, I'm getting the pass marks.
I think that's so important for anyone that's listening right now, especially with the world that we live in with social media.
Yeah.
Because I'll liken it to the property world.
Yeah.
And I know that you're surrounded by certain people within property. You could have, say, Daniel Moses.
Yeah, Daniel, my guy.
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
£7 million portfolio, maybe more now.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 soon by the end of the year.
Say £10 million portfolio. That may not be or isn't the reason you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if the point I'm trying to make is, you may not learn the way that he learns, and you may not take on information the way that he takes on information. Therefore, you can't learn the way he learns.
Exactly.
The same way that I probably wouldn't. And in fact, I know I didn't, because I wouldn't invest in the same things that he invested in.
Exactly.
But we still invest in property.
Yeah.
But it's not the reason why. And if you've not got the same vision.
Exactly.
And I think it's important that people recognise that and take on what you said there. You've got to know where you're going. And not just look at this shiny, or there's a lot of shiny objects out there, but you've got to really dig deep and understand what it is you're going for and why you're doing it. Why?
Because the thing is that those shiny objects that look great, when things get hard, you're like, no, I don't even want it that much. You know how much times people say that? I don't even want it that much. It's not worth it. Because your why. You didn't have a why. You were doing it. A lot of the time we're chasing other people's dreams, and that's social media. I see people, I want to buy this 6-bedroom house. Why do you want to buy a 6-bedroom house? There's only you and your missus. What do you need a 6-bedroom house for? But because you've seen people that with that, now you want their why. You want what they've got. And so...
Yeah, I mean, I get the ambition.
Yeah.
But then there's also being content.
Come on.
So this is something that I struggle with, and I must admit to this day. How do you manage being content and being ambitious? So there's the pillars. Yeah,
the pillars. I think the ambition is always there, but my ambition is not driven by money. I know I'm already valuable. I think I know my worth. Like I realized that once I think about it, I said something at 13. I said I want to be in this building. By 22, I was in the building. No uncle, no one to help me. I was there. Once I realized that I can think something in my brain, do the work and make it happen, all of a sudden I realized I'm valuable. I'm valuable. So that means if I know how my value and know my worth, that means that I don't need a car to make me anymore. I'm already valuable. I don't need, it's not the clothes, it's not those, these are not the things. Now these things are nice, you know what I mean? Like the other day I travelled first class. I'm not gonna lie, it's a different level. Once you do it, you don't really want to go anything else other than that. Do you know what I mean? Now, yes, there's the desire to make the money to be able to live that lifestyle, and that's fine. But at what cost? If me living that flying first class lifestyle means that I now don't see my kids, or I now am a terrible husband to my wife because I'm not around to support her dreams and what she wants because I'm just focusing on what I want out of life, for me it's not worth it. Because that my kids and my family are more important. But at the same time, as much as I wanna be a nice guy and help everybody, I need to help them first. So I need to make money. So when people come to you like, Ian, really love you to come and give us a talk, but we've got no budget. Sometimes I have to be, sorry, I just can't. I just can't. My time is too precious. If I'm gonna do something, every time I leave my house, I tell myself, is it worth not being able to read my bedtime story to my child? Because that's what you're asking me to do. You're asking me to not spend time with my kids and my family to come out and add value to you or your event. And it's like, if if it's not worth the sacrifice of not being around my kids, then I'm not there.
But some people will look at that as arrogant or ignorant. I completely disagree with those people. And I'll put that out there, I don't care. But that's coming from a place of being a father myself, of 3 kids. And it's very hard for those people that don't understand that.
Yeah.
But you have to put yourself first and your family first, 1,000,000%. Otherwise, it's a domino effect, in my opinion, because I've been there, done that. And that's why it's hard to balance it. But once you've got that balance, it's amazing. I would imagine that you've been, as you've already touched on, you've got loads of people messaging you, DMing, right, can we do this, can we do that? But there's got to be some times, surely, where you've said, I've got a partner, I need to spend time with my kids.
And even when the money's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I've turned down some real big checks. When that crypto thing was going crazy, do you know how many people was offering me silly money? Oh, can you promote this? Can you silly? And I'm like, no. I could have. I'm talking 50, 60, 70K to promote, to be their ambassador for their stuff. So, no, I don't want it.
No.
My reputation is much more important. I would never promote something I would not put my own money in and I don't believe in. So forget it. Like, do you understand? And then there's also the energy of some campaigns. They want me to be away from my family. Oh, we need you to come and film here. I can't do it too much. Sometimes I want to do stuff and I'm like, okay, I can do this, but I can only do it for this period of time. Oh, we need you. No, I'm not your guy. Because I'll be on set and I won't film well. I won't, because I'll be thinking about all the things I'm missing. At the end of the day, it's all about what your priorities are. For me, I really want to be an active father. Like me growing up, my dad was hard. My dad was hard on me. I didn't get it at the time. I get it now. Do you know what I mean? I get why he was the way he was, and we have a great relationship now. But as a kid, I had a loving mum. Me and my mum were like best friends, and me and my dad were like enemies. Like my dad could cough and I would jump. That's the fear I used to have for him. Like, because he was just so strict on me, so hard on me. Like, and so when I remember I used to invite him to I used to play basketball. I used to invite him, never come. Play rugby, never come. I used to have other people's parents whose kids were there come and they'd be cheering me on. And my dad didn't care. He's like, you think I've come from Nigeria so you can play games?
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it was terrible. Terrible. I think when you talk about another bit, sometimes I remember Michael Jordan saying it, like he would pick fights with people in games. Like, even if someone wasn't meaning to be rude, he would take it as an offence, and that would give him the extra drive to just go and destroy the team. And that I feel like, again, me wanting to achieve at such a young age was like, I'm gonna be better than you.
That's absolutely mad. Yeah, I can certainly relate to that with me. And
I did it. By 22, I was earning more money than him, and I remember I used to do stupid stuff. Like, I used to walk in my house. I used to walk in my house. I used to wear no boxers. I mean, I used to only wear boxers, just to show him how big I am. Like, because obviously when you're 21, 22, go gym, play sport, I'm there, like, physique, and I used to walk around like I'm the man. Like, I'm here. What an idiot! This guy's paying all the bills in the house. What are you doing? Yeah. Like, do you understand? He's doing what he's supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? But as a kid, there's just certain things that you take that just put a battery in your back, and just him like doubting me, him not believing in me, just make me feel like, okay, I'm gonna compete with you. Like, I remember I took my mum on Valentine's Day sometimes. Like, I used to take my mum out on Valentine's. I'm like, I'll take it. Mum, no, you don't need it. I'll take you Valentine's. Let's go to a restaurant. Just go like I'm competing with my dad. And the truth is that this man's trying to do the best he can. He's trying to keep us safe. He's trying to make this. I've got 4 kids now. I understand the mindset of someone who's thinking not just for today, but for the future. Yeah. You're thinking about, where you live because you wanted to go to good schools. You're thinking about, do you get a tutor? You're thinking about the education. You're thinking about the extracurricular activity. You're thinking about all this stuff, the kind of person you wanted to be. That's beyond just, oh, can I go and play here or can I go and do that? But at that time, I just felt like he didn't give me love in the way I wanted it. But actually, sometimes you have to understand, sometimes people can only give you love in the way they know how to.
And again, that's a very important part to touch on, because if they've not received that love, people never touch on this.
They don't talk about it.
And this is I think we have come a long way,
Yeah,
but that generation haven't necessarily.
they haven't.
And you can't necessarily talk to them because they're like, it's nonsense. This talking stuff don't
It
work.
don't work. He don't come from that. He never got hugs. He didn't come from that environment. So he doesn't. He can only like. And sometimes we as humans, we like even with my wife, like sometimes I have to like try and understand like, how do you want to be loved? Like I can't just love you the way I want to love you. I need to love you the way you want to be loved. I have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But that generation, what? He thinks he's doing a lot. He thinks he's doing the most. He thinks he's being mad affectionate. Do you know what I mean? I think he's being cold, but he thinks he's doing the most because he got absolutely nothing. So sometimes, as I've learned more about him, and you know, we've talked about his upbringing and his childhood, all of a sudden I'm like, no, this makes sense. I get it.
And tell me about the university, Greenwich. How did that make you feel?
Greenwich University. Number one, I got accepted to Brunel, so I wanted to go to Brunel, and my mum was like, "You can't go to Brunel because if you go to Brunel, you're gonna get someone pregnant." So she just said it straight. She's like, "You're gonna go out there, you're gonna get someone pregnant, and you're too young. I want you to stay at home." So I had to stay at home for uni. So that was like a big. At first, I thought it was a big miss, but that's what helped me get a job because I was at home, so I could just get a job and just work and so forth. So I've gone to Greenwich, and Greenwich was a great experience, and obviously the campus and just it was a great time. I had so much fun like at Greenwich. I had the best time ever. Now, should I have studied more? Definitely should have took the education part a lot more serious. But I met some amazing friends. But because I knew I was working, and because I knew that if I worked really hard, I was going to get a job, I was like, I'm not putting all my eggs in this uni basket. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to work hard. So a lot of my friends, they were lucky. When they finished lectures and stuff, they could just go and study. A lot of the time I had shifts to do, I had work to do, I had things to do and so forth. So on the days off uni, I was working. On the weekends, I was working. Because I even used to work on a Saturday in a different branch just so I could work a Saturday as well. That's the kind of hustle I was on at that time where a lot of people weren't on that. But Greenwich Uni was just a great time in general, and I feel like I get it. Like sometimes it's very expensive now, so I feel like you gotta think twice. I tell everyone, think, what do you want to do? Like I was watching a podcast the other day, and the guys were talking about they did some like they done like some basically a physical education, like a kind of physical education degree, and it was like basically I came out to be a PT, like a personal trainer. And like I just had to take a personal training exam, and after my degree, the personal trainer, I still had to do the exam, even though I had a degree. I had to do. So I could have just done a personal trainer exam and I didn't need.
Yeah, which takes half the time. Yeah.
I didn't need that to do what I wanted to do, like the physio stuff. I didn't necessarily need the degree in order to do it. And it's like actually, now you've got to question it. When I went uni, it was like £1,000. I used to save the money in the summer and then just pay for it cash. So I didn't really come out with that much uni debt. But now when you're talking 20, 30K a year for some of these courses, it's like, come on, man, let's be serious. Like, it's not that deep. Unless what you're going to study requires it. Do an apprenticeship. Get on the job training. A lot of people are doing apprenticeships, and then people that are going to uni are ended up coming out and being managed by those that did apprenticeships. And the people that went uni think they're doing better than those that are on apprenticeships.
So what would you advise? Starting your own business or going to uni?
If it was me personally, I would definitely, the business thing is anyway, I think that's just universal. Even like now, I teach my kids about business. But even before learning about money, if you understand the concept of business will teach you how to manage your money.
Yep.
Business will teach you about finance. It will teach you about mindset. It will teach you about how to deal with people.
It will humble you.
It will humble you.
Yep.
So for me, business is a lifestyle.
Yep.
I tell my kids, you're all gonna have your own businesses. It doesn't that's standard. We're gonna have a business together. We're gonna work together. Whatever it is, you're gonna do that because you need to understand the value of money. And a business, when you put the hours and efforts in, and then someone finally pays you for that service, or it's a different. You look at money completely different. Then you understand that you can generate it. So this is why I always tell people, like, if you've got that work job mentality, you get paid 12 times in a year and you clap for yourself. But actually the reality is if you 365 days and you only get paid on 12 of them, If you'd done a test and got 12 out of 365, you'd be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So actually, when you realize that I can create value, if I can create value every day, I can get paid every single day.
But and it's going to sound really horrible, but people need to just think back to what you just said. You get paid 12 days out of 365. And people are happy with that.
Over the moon.
But they don't realise, or what those people do, and I will say those people, with the most respect, is they're the ones that moan.
Yep.
And they're the ones that hit the snooze button.
Yeah.
But then they're probably the ones that in your DM, how do I get out of this?
All the time. E-man, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Okay, so what do you do? So when I always ask this question, you work 9 to 5, so what do you do between 5 to 9? Watching EastEnders. So some of these people, 3 hours on TikTok. 3 hours just scrolling. Gone. They scroll so much they fall asleep. I'm like, what? Can you imagine? You spent, think about it, there's 24 hours in a day. You spent eight of those hours at work. Remember, then there's an hour to work, hour back. So 10 of your hour out of your 24 you've spent for somebody else. Then you got to sleep. Maybe you sleep 7-8 hours. My goodness. You can't give yourself 2 or 3 hours to think about ways that you can improve yourself, add value to yourself, create something for yourself. Right now, we've got a cost of living crisis. Why is it such a problem? Because the majority of people only have one income stream. If you only have one income stream, and even if a lot of workplaces are given 5-10% increase, but if everything's gone up 5-10%, all they've done is help you stay the same. But
again, this is a common question I would ask. So would you therefore say your diary is a true reflection of your happiness?
Definitely. I love it. If you, when I say this stuff, people feel like I'm trying to boast. I'm not trying. I'm telling you, the first 3 years of my business, I could have made more money employed than self-employed. I always tell people this. But right now, like I'm sitting right here, I'm getting paid. Not from you, but business is happening. I've got assistants, I've got content out there, I've got contracts, I've got things being done that don't require me to be there right now. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I live a lifestyle. I'm free. I can do the school run if I want to. I run my own diary. I used to work probably 60 to 70 hours a week. I used to work Saturdays, Sundays, killing myself, working for the company, trying to get that. And that was cool because I see that as my apprenticeship. Learning, because I worked in the business that I do today. And that's the difference. I always tell people, if you're going to be employed, being employed is something that you want to do for yourself.
That's also, again, there's so many nuggets here. But people will look at what you've just said there and they'll forget that you've just grafted for years before to get where you are now.
Exactly.
And then you've had to learn for another 3 years in order to take the position that you're in now and go, I can now reap the rewards.
Yeah.
How has it impacted, if it's impacted, the home life?
I mean, the honest truth is that me and my missus almost had a divorce. And like people see me and my missus now, they would never believe it. But you have to understand business. People, like business, like when you got your dream, you got your goal, you got your focus, it takes over. I was contracting. I remember I was contracting in Canary Wharf and I had an office in Canary Wharf. I used to finish my contract in Canary Wharf, then go like 10 minutes down the road to my own office and then start seeing clients. And I'd stay there till like 10, 11 o'clock at night, go home, eat, sleep, wake up 7 in the morning, go back to the contract. And I did this for a good period of time because my business couldn't afford to pay me. But I knew it's going to work. You know when you know I know this is going to work, I've just got to give it time. And my business can't afford me, so I've got to get a job that can afford me until my business can afford me. And those 3, it was tough. I was putting in hours. We've got kids, we've got young kids. I wasn't the best dad. Like I wasn't around. I'm hustling, but I kept telling my kids, like, I promise you, I'm not here now. I'm not changing your nappies, but I promise you, your life is gonna be different because this is gonna work. And you know, to be honest, my wife, you know, she's a good woman. She supported me. But as any woman, they want attention. I want attention. I don't even want you to buy me stuff. I just want you to be present. I want to tell you the stories of the things that's happened in my day. I want to tell you about the kids. I want a break as well. Actually, I want to take a few days off where you just sit with the kids. I can't take no days off right now.
Mm-hmm.
No holiday. You know, I told my wife didn't go on holiday for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years. She didn't go on holiday. I didn't buy enough. No birthday presents, no Christmas presents. Just hustling. Me, every penny I got back into the business. We do a website. Oh, it's going well. Oh, we need to improve the website. New website. I've changed my website so many times because you've got to keep the levels going up. Remember, business, you're learning because like you said, there's no one to really teach you. You're a lot of the time, you know, people will say stuff, but a lot of the time you're learning from mistakes.
Yeah, massively.
And some of these mistakes are costly.
I'm glad you just said that, costly, because I actually got divorced through it. It's been on one of my other episodes, and it wasn't my wife's fault.
No.
I drove it to a point where, but obviously it's both of our fault.
Yeah.
But at the same point, we got to a point where it was just too much for her, and it wasn't her fault. It wasn't my fault. We just came to a decision where and exactly what you just said there, it's relentless. And unless you're, she showed me all the support that she could at that particular moment in time. But it was, I already had one business. Yeah. And then I'd just started a new one, so it was just too much. So for anyone that is listening, that wants to start their business, make sure that this is my advice, involve with them as much as you possibly can.
Bro, when I tell you that we almost got divorced, you know what saved us? Lockdown.
Communicate. You've got to communicate. And I would ask you, I'm a big believer in therapy. Yeah. So that would be my next question to you.
So lockdown, my missus does cakes. So she's got her own cake business. So lockdown comes, there's no parties, so there's no cake. So my wife, I'm like, okay, come work for me. So my wife comes and starts working for me. And it changed our relationship. Changed everything. She could understand what I do now and realise I'm not just in Canary Wharf having fun, I'm actually working. And you know, she starts seeing the emails coming through. She sees the deals that I'm doing. She's like, wow, do you know how many cakes I'd have to do to get that amount of money? Yeah. She starts understanding the levels that I'm operating at and what I'm doing. Also, I didn't appreciate how hard it is for her with the kids, because the kids are at home. Everyone's at home.
Oh, it's tough.
It's tough.
Oh, it's very
I was like, whoa, these kids are unruly. Are these my kids? Because obviously you come back from work, they're cool.
Daddy.
During the day, they're a different animal. And so I'm learning about, and so now the respect is different. Like we work together, and so that changed. And then you mentioned it, therapy. I went to therapy, and therapy changed everything. Like took it to that next level. So right now, for example, like the money that I make now, the levels went up once I started, me and my wife were on a good playing field. My income jumped up. After I did therapy, my income went through the roof. Why? Because therapy made me realise that because I came from poverty and came from the hood, I was still working on those methods. I hadn't changed. I was still taking every opportunity, because when you've got nothing, you're like, you can't say no. You've got to go there. Doesn't matter if it's £150 or 150. You've got to go there because you've got to make it happen. Because if you're not taking an opportunity, someone else is going to take it. Yep. And you don't realise, I'm already here. I'm not going back. I've gone too far to go back. Even what would be uncomfortable for me now is 10 times better than where I was before. But I didn't have that mentality. And so I had to realign myself. What's really important to me? What's my focus? Who am I? Oh, you know, the therapist, you sit down with a therapist and you think, I haven't even got nothing to say today. Before you know, she's like, session over. You've been talking for 45 minutes straight. Without, like, you just don't understand how much things are inside your mind, inside your heart. And you just got to open up to someone. And listen, she didn't even know who I was. You know, like, you're so used to me bumping going, oh, yeah, I saw you, I've seen you. She didn't have a clue who I was. Like, she's not impressed. She's not impressed. And
again, that brings me nicely onto your friends, if you will, back from where you was born, where you grew up, where you had your school in your teenage years. I would imagine they've got a lot to say.
Always. Listen, a lot of the time you just can't. It's so difficult. When I tell you, like, I'm a person, like, obviously where we come from, loyalty is everything. Like, it's just a code. Like, you're just loyal. You've known people for a long time. But I had to start realising, like, you know the Jay-Z line, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. What does that? I have to start operating as a business. if you got a supplier as a business and the supplier is not delivering your product on time, or the supplier is offering poor customer service, what do? You find a new supplier. It's business, it's not personal. I just got to do better. Or if you find another supplier that can give you what you need but give it cheaper, so you can offset it and make more. You're gonna make those changes. Yeah, it's the exact same with some of these friends. I got to see myself like a business. If you're not adding value to me, if we're meant to have a friendship, it has to be reciprocal value. 100%. It can't be one way. E-man borrowed me this. E-man, I saw you. You know how much times I saw you in a picture of this person. Can you they're doing a concert? Can you get me tickets? Or they're doing an event? What? That's when you remember me. I've got 4 kids. You've never been to a birthday party. They don't know who the hell you are. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we're meant to be friends and family, and it's like, actually, what am I doing? Like, you're just carrying people because you've known them for a long time, and so for me, I had to start to learn. I got to let it go. I got to let that go and focus on what is best for me and create relationships and friendships that make sense.
And that just comes down to, again, the energy that you obviously you give off, and we'll touch on the social media side of stuff shortly. But again, going back to your therapy stuff, I would imagine that's something that they touched on.
Yeah,
it's just letting people
go, and letting go of sometimes forgiveness. I said it in one of my videos the other day, like, forgiveness. Sometimes we are. You haven't forgiven someone, they don't even know you're angry at them. They're walking around enjoying life. They don't even know that they annoy you because you've never said nothing. Yeah. So they're living their life, enjoying life, yet you hold resentment, you're bitter towards them, you're angry at them. And actually, the only one suffering is you. And so for me, I had to learn, I've got to forgive. I've got to come to a place of forgiveness, because once I forgive, I can let go and move on.
Who was the person? Was it a person?
For the forgiveness?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, loads of people. People that let me down in my life, people that didn't do what they were supposed to do. Like, I think the biggest one was, my dad. That was a big one for me. And, when we had that conversation, I had a conversation with him, and it was life-changing. It was just life-changing. Because you realise that a lot of your anger, a lot of the things that you're taking out maybe on other people, maybe you're being short with your missus, or you're being short with the people around you, actually is pain that you're carrying for years. And I've just sat in therapy, lay it out, had a conversation, and that's just gone.
Tell me back to that moment with your dad.
Yeah.
When that changed your life. That moment now.
So it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and my wife was just like, have a conversation with him. He probably doesn't even know. Like, just have a conversation. And so I just called him, and I was like, Dad, you got time? He's like, yeah, let's talk. And we literally just on the phone for, like, me and my dad. Me and my dad's conversations normally last about 3 minutes, and that's long. It's about 3 minutes. Hey son, how are you? I'm good, Dad. How are you? How's work? How the kids? How's everyone? No, good. Okay, take care. Bye. That's our normal, and that's not because of bad. That's just our relationship. That's just how we are. Do you know what I mean? It's not that we don't like each other. Just love. That's just how he is. He's just not that talk. He's not a talkative person like that. We talked for 2 hours, and it was just like, talking about how I just felt like he was never proud of me, and felt like he didn't he was always, my sisters were really clever, so they did really good at school. So I always felt like he was very proud of them and not proud of me, and felt like I wasn't clever, and he was always hard on me. And so I remember just having this conversation with him, and he's just talking about his upbringing and his childhood and what he went through, and the fact that he couldn't go to school. Like, all he wanted to do was go to school, but he couldn't go to school because he wasn't allowed to go to school. And I remember, so education became so important to him. So he taught himself. He found books and taught himself, and then got a good job off the back of it. Then became an accountant in Nigeria, then qualified to be an accountant over here. So for him, education changed his life, and education was the thing that stopped him. So for him, his bar was education. So when he had kids, all he thought about was education, because that's the source. Some people I can only teach you what I know. If all I know is 2 + 2 = 4, that's all I can teach you. I can't teach you 4 × 4 is I can't teach you that. I haven't learned that. I've just learned 2 and 2 equals 4. So all he could teach me was what he knew, and all he knew was education. So to him, he was giving me all the love and all the best things he felt he could give me, because that's all he knew. And so when I went that day that I realized I have to stop looking at people from the lens of Emmanuel Asuquo, and I have to try and look at people from the lens of the people who they are. And that's what we do as humans. We assume that because I look on social media, someone's bought a house. Because I'm working hard, I assume they've worked as hard as me to buy that house. So now I look at myself and say, oh, I'm not working hard enough. You don't know if they've inherited it. You don't know what they've done to get that. But this is what we do. We look at the lens from our perspective. Mm-hmm. But when I put myself into his shoes and what he's been through and saw it from, it's a completely different story.
It's such a huge talent to be able to do that. And it really is a talent, because then you can eradicate certain faults.
Exactly.
That you've had previously.
Exactly.
And then, like you say, you can go, I can forgive.
Exactly.
Not necessarily forget, but forgive. And that's such a huge talent to be able to do that and work on. No doubt you've had to work on over many years. But it's like you say, it's skyrocketed your businesses, your relationships have probably got, they have got better.
Have got better. And people want to work with me now.
And I think that obviously has, look at your personality.
Exactly.
That's you. And I would imagine, it's springboarded you into the person that you've become on social media, enabled you to be yourself.
Exactly. Yeah,
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you're so right. Because once I realised, once I really understood who I am and my authentic self was good enough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like before that, I'm trying to improve, I'm trying to impress my dad, but once I realised actually I don't need to. And my dad said, I'm proud of you, son. I love you, son. It's the first time I heard him say that in a coherent sentence, and I knew he meant it from his soul. Mm. I just burst into tears. I just burst into tears. And I'm not just at that moment. I mean for days after, I would just remember and just burst into tears. Because for years I was holding that pain. For years I was thinking this guy didn't love me. For years I was thinking this guy weren't proud of me. And this guy was so proud of me. And he loved me so much. But he could only express it in his own way. Mm. And I judged him because he didn't express it in the way I wanted. So which one of us is the bad person?
None of you. This is the message. This is the message to take from it. None of you. It shows a huge, again, the amount of personal development you've gone on, the journey you went on to get there. It just shows how much work that you've done on yourself in order to get there. Not a lot of people want to open up a wound to get there. Yeah. Because there's many people that have the wounds and they're going to leave a plaster over it.
No, definitely.
Myself included some.
Yeah.
100%. So I've got the same wound now.
Yeah.
I don't want to open that up.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same wound, funny enough. Yeah. It's exactly the same one. So it's very, very much related to what you're saying there. So what happened in, tell me back to 2019.
2019.
When you got made redundant.
Oh my goodness. It's a hard time. Before that, you know what? I shared this story with my dad on a men's group thing.
Yeah.
And I had about 10 guys afterwards message me and say that because I shared it, they went and spoke to their dad.
I was gonna continue it after, but it just popped into my head then. So it's such an important message, because so many men, not just men, but I just want to state that women as well. Yeah. But men don't talk.
Yeah.
And obviously we are going to talk about the finances, etc., etc. And it is important to talk about that because of the situation we're in. But the fact that you've opened up about that, and spoke about that you've been to therapy, saved your relationship. We're going to talk about the family as well. Yeah. But you've opened up a wound that you knew was going to hurt. Yeah. Like it was raw. Yeah. But you didn't know what was going to come from it. It's the fear of the unknown. It really is. And it takes fucking courage. Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to do that. Yeah. And you didn't have the outcome.
No.
And that's the dangerous thing.
Exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know what that call was going to be. I didn't know what he was going to say. I didn't know if it could ruin our relationship. I don't know if he could be offended or feel like, why are you talking to me in this way? Or why are you talking about this? But I just knew that my wife, and it's good to have a partner that you trust and you could be open with. And so she said do it, and I was like, you know what, I trust you, I'm gonna do it.
That's so important as well. You can do it on your own,
Yeah,
but if you are on your own,
yeah,
reach out.
yeah,
That's what I would say.
yeah.
Because there is people that are going through very similar things to you,
Exactly.
and that's why we're here.
Yeah, no, definitely.
1,000,000%.
No, definitely. So yeah, 2019. Oh mate. So basically, fourth child. My wife was having our fourth child.
Didn't have any TVs then.
No TVs, no contraception. Like pull out game was weak. Like just, I always tell people like I'm supposed to be pulling out and pushing in. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. But yeah. So fourth child, take 2 weeks, 2 weeks off paternity leave. My daughter's born in February. 2 weeks off with paternity leave. Come back in March to work. That week they make me redundant, and I'm like, wow. When I tell you, sometimes we go through things in life and you think this is the worst thing that's happened to you, but actually it's the best. So what happens is that I'm forced now, because I'm doing the social media evenings, I'm doing talks on the weekend, either my own events or going to other people's events, just doing it slowly because I've got a job, I can just take it easy, build it up. I'm forced now, go for it. So I get made redundant. Luckily, the lady in the HR, she's a lovely woman, got on so well. She really pushed them to hire me and so forth. So she's made sure that I've got the most amount of redundancy possible. Like she's calculated, I'm gonna start it from this date, from when they told you this, to make sure you've got holidays that you owe and this and that. She added it all together. By the time I've added that money, plus what I've got in savings, I'm like, I don't need to work for 9 months. I'm like, let's go. So then I tell myself, look, when I was working for somebody else, I was working all these hours, 9 to 5, whatever. So if I can do that for somebody else's dream, how much hours can I put in for my own? And so I start doing content. I mean, I'm doing content twice a day. I'm doing lives. I'm replying to every comment. I'm replying to every DM. Ask me a question. I'm just engaging with my audience and doing the most. I'm watching other people to see what content they're putting out, to think, what can I do? I'm looking at other industries. So although I'm finance, I'm looking at what are other people talking about in other sectors and other industries. How are they getting their message across? So I can get better. I'm going to events. I'm going to networking. I'm doing it all, putting it out there. This is in March that I started doing this. By August, I got my first TV show. Channel 4 see all this content, all the stuff that I'm doing. They're like, we love your style. Now, when I first started, and this is why I tell people just get started. When I first started, I used to put out content like, this is a pension, this is a mortgage. Nobody cared. So I had to learn like what I got vexed. I was just like, what? So I just went on one day and I just like, you lot, you drive a nice car, but you live in your mum's house and you share a bed with your brother and he wets the bed and you have to roll over. And everyone just got all the comments, people laughing, sharing it. Oh my gosh. And I realized that's my style. I can be my authentic self. And so I just keep finding new things, just roasting people about different things, then adding a little knowledge, but giving people it in a fun. All of a sudden, Channel 4 see it. They're like, yep, we want you on this show. Get on the first show. Come to, that's 2019. Go into 2020. Then George Floyd happens. Yeah? George Floyd happens. Then we go into lockdown first. So that lockdown, now people are scared about money. Then George Floyd happens. So now we're talking about money and they need ethnic minority to talk about it.
Oh, perfect.
And this is what I say. People think it's luck. It's not luck.
You've been doing it for years.
I've been doing it for years. Sometimes you're waiting for the opportunity. You got to get the work and then the opportunities come.
But that came from a young boy sitting in his room staring at Canary Wharf. Madness.
Been lining this up for years.
Yeah, madness.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm on there, but then when I get the opportunity, I've got to smash it. So I've got to practice. I tell people like, oh, E-man, you look so natural. Do you know why? Because it's the first time you're hearing it. It's not the first time I said it. Like I tell people, I go to events, I give talks, people are like, oh, you're so funny. If you understand I've said that joke 100, I know you're going to laugh. I've said it 150 times. Do you know what I mean? I've practiced this thing over and over. Practiced in the mirror. I've practiced with my wife. Practiced with my kids. Practiced with my friend. I've practiced and practiced and practiced, so that I'm ready when the camera comes on, and then I live it. So I do it every single day. So no one can't, like, we got this. I don't need to practice. I could go on the podcast at any time. There's no question you could ask me that I'm not ready for. I live this. This is what I do every single day. I watch finance content. I create finance content. I coach finance content. I help people with finances. I help wealthy people. I help people that are broke. I help people from all. I live this. This is what I live and breathe. And so now it's just a case of how do I take it to the next level? Because again, it's what you said about ambition and being content. I'm content with my lifestyle, but I know I can do more. But my reasons for doing more are not necessarily financial. My reasons for doing more is for impact.
See, I always get... I'll come back to that in a second, but that's again something that I struggle with is I know I can help more people.
Mm-hmm.
How I get there, I don't know, but I know I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's always to leave a bigger impact on the world.
Yeah.
And help people break through barriers.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Same thing. My thing is, and this is people ask me like, why do you go so hard? Because I couldn't help my parents. My mum, my dad's an accountant. My mum, they needed me, but I didn't exist then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't exist in this capacity then. If my parents had me as their financial advisor, today they'd be in such a better financial position. And I understood that I couldn't help them, but I can help those coming. I can help other people right now. And so I understand that there's a community, like there are other communities where in your community, you know, you have your doctors, you have your nurses, you have your solicitors, you have your lawyers, you have your accountants, your bankers, you just a phone call away. That doesn't exist in my community. Now it does, because I exist. And when we start to say, actually, I don't know where to get a tutor, but you're a teacher, so now it exists because you exist. When you start to claim that, okay, I say people can't be struggling with their finances and I exist. It can't happen. But I need to speak louder. I need to be out more. I need to be engaged because people don't know where to find me. So what do? I'm going to use their platform. I'm going to go on TV. I'm going to go as far as I can on this TV and reach as many people as possible so they know that I exist. Do you know how often I do chat TV and all I get is, he's so relatable. So relatable. I relate to him. And this is most people that they're questioning are white, by the way. So this is not about black, white. This is about actually people see me and see themselves.
See, again, it's actually become quite common. I've used this phrase. Quite often people will use to relate to it and show sympathy. I won't necessarily show sympathy. I will look at it and show empathy.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to you.
Yeah.
People go, oh yeah, but is it because he's black? No, it's nothing to do with that.
No.
You're a normal human.
Exactly.
It's nothing to do with your skin colour because you come from a council estate and you've been through it.
Yeah.
It's because you're a human.
Yeah.
And you've worked your arse off to get to where you are. And you want to make a difference.
And do you know how much people have been through that?
A lot of people. But it's irrelevant what's in their bank.
Absolutely.
Just because they may be from, I don't know, Chelsea or Kensington.
Exactly.
They've probably been through it as well. A lot of people have.
A lot of people have. And, you know, sometimes, I've been in meetings where I've been with, like, quite affluent people. And I've gone as myself, like, talk like this. And they've brought the barriers down. And they'd be like, this is the first time I feel comfortable just to not be pretentious, take off my tie. And just because actually, they just buy into you as a person.
Yeah. And
I feel like you've got to be proud of who you are, where you come from, and what you stand for. Because that's what's made me me. Everything I've been through in life, whether it's been good or bad, it's helped me be the version of. So I wouldn't change it. But like, if you could, wouldn't you wish for this or wish? No, because I wouldn't be me. And me right now, I know the impact. I know the lives that I'm helping. I know the lives that I'm changing. And don't get me wrong, because I'm doing that, money's coming. And that's good. It's a good thing. Because you should want money to come to people with good hearts. Because guess what? They're going to put that money back into their communities. They're going to help people. So actually, you should want me to make more. Because I'm able to do more. And I'm able to reach more. I'm able to help more.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And people have got to take that on board. They've got to take that on board. If you can help people, you've got to always help people.
Of course.
But try not to show sympathy, rather show empathy.
Empathy, definitely.
That's all I ask of people is this, because sympathy, just that grates on me. It really does.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are some of the, because I know you've touched it on your Instagram, but I guess it's a different platform. What are some of the side hustles that you could recommend for people just to get involved with?
I think the best ones are service based.
Mm.
I tell people it doesn't matter what it is. If you can do a service right now, you're worldwide. Because Zoom, as long as there's 2 people on Zoom, Zoom is free.
Mm.
So if your office is Zoom and you can offer something 1-to-1. So I was speaking to a lady the other day. She's like, I love dance. She likes to she loves dance, like Jamaican, like reggae type dance, bashment dancing. And she's like, and she's like, but she can't. She wants to do classes, but she can't find people, so she just goes to a rave and just lets it all out. And I'm like, do you know that you could advertise online and then do fitness classes using reggae and teaching people your dance moves, get in a sweat, and they do it. Or you can even do it as a group pay. It's not even that expensive. What's it, 10, 15, 20 pounds, and you can have multiple people, up to 100 people on there, and they all pay, and you could all teach them how to dance, whatever moves and so forth, and they could do it from the comfort of their home. Don't have to worry about being in the gym or who's looking at them or how they look. And now you're making money off something that you love doing. It doesn't even feel like work. And just yesterday I had a client, and he's really good at maths, and he tutors maths. And he's like, I'm struggling to get clients. And I'm like, in the days of social media, how can you struggle to get clients? You do understand that you can do an ad, and you can, once you know who you're targeting, are you targeting students or are you targeting the parents? I say target the parents. They're the ones that are paying for it.
Mm.
So target the parents. What do the parents like? And I use this exact example. It's like, a lot of the people you're going to look at are Christian. So they probably like, Kurt Franklin, and they like, Eric Thomas with his most. You can make the ad go to people that you can actually pick people that have interest in these people, and the ad will only go to people that. And not only that, then you can go to your community centre. So you can do it online as well as doing it in person. You can go to your community centre with a nice flyer. This is me. This is what I do. Oh, get a quote from some of the kids. Get a quote from some of the parents. Create a nice little leaflet. Put it on there. Give it to the community centre. Give it to local schools. He was just like, I never thought about this. And you wouldn't. Why? You haven't done business. I've done business. Like...
I understand. And do you ever get frustrated? I mean, I do. I'll just put it out there. I do. But I don't get frustrated with people. What frustrates me is you've got to be creative.
Yeah.
And this is where I've been forced in situations like you did. Yeah. I didn't have time to go, shit, where do I find them? I just had to find them. I was going everywhere to get the business.
Yeah.
Oh, where do I go? No, it's not where do I go. I'm everywhere to get business.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable.
That's it.
I'll find a way. I don't care how much I fail or learn, if you will. I'm going there. Then I'm going there. Yeah. I'm doing whatever it takes.
Yeah.
If you really want to do something, you'll get it done.
You get it done, and you, like you said, you'll be out there. And so the thing for me is, even with him, the reason I gave him so much game is that he paid for a meeting. He's only like 22, and he paid for a 1-to-1 with me. And I'm like, listen, number one, I'm gonna give you better value anyway. But number two, I'm so proud of you. Because a lot of the time when you're that young, you struggle to pay someone for their advice.
Okay, yeah.
And so for you to be able to do this, I'm going to show you how you can make sure that not only can you afford me, you can afford to pay for whatever you need going forward. Yeah. And so when I started to show him game, because remember what I'm teaching him, the reason it comes simple to me is because I've made all the mistakes. Yeah. I know what works because I've done what doesn't work before. Yeah. So why are you going to do what doesn't work when I've already done that? You're 22, I'm 37. I've been here 15 years. I've done it. Yeah. So let me tell you how tried and tested ways to make sure you succeed. And then you just have to go and follow. And you don't have to make those expensive mistakes that I made. But how many people want to pay for advice? No. You want to get the free advice online, or you want to get the free advice from your mate at the pub.
You get the free download.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it just ruins it.
We'll get you eventually, because we've got your email now. But let's talk about the cost of living just quickly. We've got to touch on it because people just rip me apart if we don't. Energy bills.
No, energy bills, everything.
People are going to find it boring, but we've got to touch on it. Yeah. For what it's worth, I'll give my
You go.
what I think, and then
Yeah.
you tell me.
You go.
I think that could be a great spin-off. What I done was I went on a comparison sites
Yeah.
and just went, right, you're a lot higher than you. Was that the right thing to do?
That is definitely the right thing to do. I think the difficulty now is that because all the small ones have been they've all gone bankrupt, all the smaller ones. So most people are just on the price cap. Most companies are just giving you the price cap. So there's not that much difference between them. So switching it isn't working as much now. But that was definitely the right thing to do. But even then, you can switch car insurance. People don't look at it. Home insurance. All these things that come up on an annual basis. Don't just auto renew. Look and see what can I get. Can I get a better deal somewhere else? Like, make sure that it's your money that you work hard for. Make sure before you give it out, you've done some research to make sure you're giving it to the right people. So yeah, I think, with the energy crisis, it's difficult. I think the price has gone up. So the only thing you can do is cut your usage. You have to look at ways to reduce how much you're using. So, especially if you're young, I've got a lot of young people go to the gym. They shower at the gym, charge their phone at the gym, charge their phone at work, or shower at work. The works, do you know what I mean? Depending on where you work and stuff like that. Look at ways that you can reduce your costs and just look at ways to try and make things work for you. Stay at work. People who stay at work, you use if some people work have like lounges and stuff like that. You stay there a bit later, so you don't have to put the heating on too early when you get. Also, don't just put the heating on. That's one of the worst mistakes. Always put on timer.
Yes, I agree. What I was just going to touch on there is Mr. Lewis, cut.
Yeah.
Whilst, yes, you've got reduced costs, why not add an income stream as you touched on earlier?
Yeah, because
it's hard.
Exactly. Exactly, because it's hard.
It's harder, but you can only cut so much.
No,
we're going to be naked.
Yeah, but it's all this. It's the mentality, isn't it? Oh, people are really struggling, so don't tell them to go and work harder. What do you mean? You have to work harder. If my income, if I've got a set income and the cost of everything is going up, and I've gone to my boss and my boss says, look, the cost of everything is going up, I might we've seen Amazon, Facebook, Google sack people, thousands. Why? Because they're increasing your salary, but they're just going to have less people. And so what happens is either you end up with no money or you have to stick with what you got, because a business can only pay so much. So actually, for me, it's like, actually, I need to make sure that it's my job, it's my responsibility, because that was my problem. I relied on my work, my employer, and all I am is a number to them. They don't care whether I got 4 kids at home and a wife and a family. They don't care about that. Even if I die, they'll send flowers to my missus. My job will be on Reed or one of these recruitment sites the next day. Because
it's true.
Someone's got to do the job. It's not personal. It's business. So for me, it's my responsibility. So even if I'm tired or things are hard, I've got to look at ways to increase it. So for example, I was with someone the other day, like, the kids have grown, struggling, cost of living. You got 2 bedrooms empty. Oh, I don't want to share. But you can't afford your bills. So how can you tell me, man, I'm in debt, I need help, and you've got 2 rooms there that you can rent out at $750 each a month and pay no tax using the rent-a-room scheme? But you're not doing it. But you're telling me you're struggling and you don't know what to do and the government should help. There's an answer for you.
The government, they're not going to come and save you.
You think Rishi Cares, multi-billionaire, his wife's even richer than him. Like, these guys are they're living in a different planet. Have you saw the tax bill that the guy didn't pay that he just paid? Like, what was it, 14 million or something?
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
That's his tax bill. So if that's how much he paid tax, how much money did he make? We're not even thinking about it.
No.
The politicians, their lives are different. The way they live is different. You've got it's your responsibility to look after you. So for me, I want to put it in my hands. I want to be in control of that. So even if it means I've got a car. Have you thought about Ubering? Have you thought about delivering? Because when you work it out, how much extra do you need? A lot of the time, people are struggling. It's only £300-400. When you now work, okay, if I divide that by 4, I need an extra £100 a week. Can you make an extra £20 a day? I'm sure when we think about it, most of us can work out how to make an extra £20 a day. If you can make an extra, because remember, if you get, let's say £10 an hour, it's only 2 hours worth of work. If I can find something that can pay me £10 for 2 hours, 5 days a week, that's an extra £400 a month. Man, you make it sound too simple. It is that simple.
But you got to do the work.
You got to do it.
You got to do the work. People, I don't know how long EastEnders is on for, but that's an episode of EastEnders.
Yeah. Come on, people do when Love Island is
Or
on,
Netflix. I don't know. Let's have a look at Netflix. What's the average episode? About an hour.
about an hour.
Again, I think his name was Jay Alderton.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. I had him on the podcast, and he done an episode with him, and he actually used the quote that he said, "Give me your phone, and I'll see what your usage is like." So I'm quoting someone else's quote, but he went, "It's bullshit that you haven't got the time, because go on your phone, go on your settings," and it's so true that people are wasting time and they're moaning so much. But how do we get over that? I know it's an impossible question, but you must come across it more than most.
For me, it's just changing your mindset. So I tell people this. So for example, Love Island is a big thing amongst young people, yeah? People be on Twitter hour before Love Island talking about what's going to happen. Love Island will be on. They'll be watching it, be on Twitter talking about it. Love Island finished. There's After Sun. They'll be on After Sun talking about all the bits after that. After Sun's finished, they'll be on Twitter discussing back and forth, arguing with strangers on the internet. They've been doing this for 4 hours. And Love Island's on almost every single day for a 6-week or 2-month period. Yet you tell them to do a course and they say it's too long, it's boring, I can't. When you start to actually tell people, look at what you're doing, because Love Island is making you zero money.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a cost to you. When you now say, look, if you can put that energy into Love Island, what can you put into yourself? But also make it something that you enjoy. Try and not make it a chore. So if you enjoy clothes or shopping, go and do reselling. My wife went to the charity shop today. She bought a jacket for my daughter. This jacket was beautiful. The jacket was £3. If I didn't have my daughter, she could have bought that jacket, put it on eBay or what's it called, and sold that for £20, £25. It's a profit right there.
But people wouldn't, just because you make more money, it doesn't have to make hundreds or thousands of pounds. You've just made it, 22 quid.
Yeah, easy profit. No hard work. And if you like fashion, then it doesn't feel like work. You find a bargain, you sell it, you smile, you're making money. So actually find things that you enjoy and just make money from it. I've got people, you got a car park space. Do you know how valuable that is?
Yeah. Funny you mention. I actually rented one out when I was in. Yeah. But one caveat to that is, I would say, is if you're met with resistance from a partner, that can be quite difficult.
Very difficult. But I feel like with that, when I have couples, so I get couples on.
Yeah.
So I do it together. So that's where sometimes you have to get someone else in to talk.
Yeah.
So I've had wives, mainly women, because a lot of the time women manage the finances in the house, and the men just give them a set amount of or whatever towards whatever. But the women have to do all the shopping and all of that stuff. And they're like, I need some help, I need some support. But I tell him, and he doesn't. Just have a meeting, and then let's talk about it. And sometimes you've got to bring external people in to have that conversation. If you feel like, actually, when I say it, he's not listening or whatever, let me say it. There's no bias.
So then it becomes almost like you're the therapist.
Exactly.
Or you and them.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And so sometimes you have to look for help, look for support. But the important thing is have the conversation. Because if not, you're eating yourself inside. And what happens, it brings resentment. And resentment brings arguments. And arguments bring distance. And distance will lead
to one thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't make the mistake I made. But there's so many things I want to talk about. One, obviously, BBC.
Yeah.
When you done your first documentary.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
No, that was crazy. So I'm at BBC, did documentary helping due to the cost of living crisis, just basically doing what I do every day, helping a lady and her daughter with finances and money, and it was amazing. But even again, to then get my family involved, and I went back to my old estate with my dad, and that was emotional because we haven't been there for years.
Yeah.
And it was just like, just reminiscing about where we were, and now we're in a position where we're helping other people. When we were the ones that needed help back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that full circle moment. So that was amazing to even think BBC know who I am, to the point where they wanted to do a documentary.
I bet he was meant to be like, yeah, that's my son.
Exactly, that's my son. He was so proud, you know what I mean? And he did a great job in the show as well for his section and stuff. So that was, it's just beautiful. The things that I'm doing now, like, I couldn't even dream about them anymore. But now you dream bigger. That's the thing, is that some things that look like impossible. It's like you see a mountain and it's so, I've got to climb that mountain. the thing is, when you get to the top of a mountain, now you see bigger mountains. Now you're like, oh wow, I never saw these before. Because now you're at a new higher view. Now you can see that. And it's like, okay, which one am I going to climb? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but I know it's possible because I've climbed this one, so I know I can climb the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Man. What about the book?
The book is, Get Your Money Right, man. It's out. Get Your Money Right. It's basically a finance book, but my style, so more humorous, more light-hearted, really relatable, but just teaching people about money and finance from the very beginning, how the system works, how to make it work for you, how to start investing, because there's so much information out there. It's so easy to get scammed. So I wanted to do a book where I could put all the knowledge of my last 15 plus years of being a financial advisor into a book. So when you go for a certain situation, say that you want to buy a house, you can read the chapter on mortgages and how does it work, and read the chapter on property, how does it work. Should I carry on paying into my work pension? You can read the chapter on pensions. Like it follows the journey that you're on. So there's a chapter in there for everybody. If you're in debt, there's a chapter on debt, how to get out of it, also how to use it to make you money.
Yeah.
Because they don't teach us that.
No.
They teach us debt is bad, and I totally get if you're in a position of debt, there's a chapter there to show you how to get out of it. But also there's a chapter say leverage.
Yeah, you've got to be in a position to be able to leverage.
Exactly. So there's a chapter there to show people how to use the system and make it work for you. Even how to get a promotion at work. You know, how if you are at work, how to get a promotion. Because sometimes that's the first place. People want to do a side hustle, but sometimes the first place, go to your work. What do I need to do? Take this course. Do this. Get this experience. Boom. Now you got an extra 10K a year. Okay, excellent. Now you can use that to help supply your side hustle.
Have you found that some people are in a financial state to invest, however, an emotional state, nowhere near ready to invest?
Very much so. Money is emotional, and money is mindset. So a lot of the time, people are not even if you're making money, people are like, can't risk it. It's gonna risk. Inflation is 10%. You're getting 2%, 3% from the bank.
You're getting hammered. Yeah.
Do the maths.
So what would you then say that the best investment would be, or best investments would be?
The best investment in life is to invest in yourself. That's by far. It doesn't even come close. After that, it's then about what are your goals. Mm-hmm. So for me, there are 3 main places you can invest. You've got stocks, shares, so pensions, ISAs, stocks, and so forth, individual stocks. Then you've got property, so investing in property, and there's loads of different ways you can do that. But I just like to add, when I say property, buy to let right now at these interest rates is not a very good investment at the moment. So if you are thinking about buy to let, either it has to be a very special, like you've got at a really good discount, or you need to think about maybe HMO, or how you can rent it out in a way, or maybe Airbnb, where you're renting it out serviced accommodation rather than doing it just because the interest rates and then the tax is just not making sense. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes with these property stuff, yes, they can work, but make sure it works for you, because some of these strategies at this high interest rate, it's not even that high, but for where we've been to where we are now, certain strategies have to be. So property, and then the third one is business. So for me, and that's the best. I don't care what no one says. The reason America is the country that it is because they focus on business more than they do on property.
And it's built on a foundation. And we're like this. It's going to just spill out.
Exactly.
So I think if you build on the right foundations, you're absolutely fine.
Definitely. And
if you don't... I liken it to a house. It's built on solid foundation. Exactly. If you build on one side, you're going to tip over.
Exactly.
So, I like that analogy. Really, you've got to build on solid foundations.
Yeah.
And build on cement, not sand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's my sort of take on that. I like Vanguard. I don't know, what are your thoughts on Vanguard as stocks and shares? Yeah,
Vanguard's very good. Very good. I like their S&P 500 and also their lifestyle strategy. I think 80 is a good one, depending on your age. 80% in stocks, 20% in bonds and so forth. But I think their life strategy, the S&P 500 are good funds. But Hargreaves Lansdown got loads of choice there. I think if you just don't know what to do and you just want to put it in, think there are like Money Box and those types of ones that are good just to get in on a regular basis. Just get started. I always tell just get started. Even if you're doing £10 a month, £20 a month, the percentages are still the same. You're just gonna make less, but at least I made 10%. Okay, wow, I've made 10%. So if it was 1,000 or if it was 10,000, I would have made. At least now you understand how it works. Oh, I've lost 20%. Again, you're learning and experiencing it and seeing what happens. Oh, this happened in the news, and this is the effect that it had on my portfolio. So experience is a great teacher when it comes to investing. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say start with the funds, and then once you've done that, then look at individual stocks, and even with those, look at things that you enjoy. Make it fun. Like if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. Like I'm just at that point in life. If it's not, I don't want to do it. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'll work hard at it, but I need to know that I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't mind the hard work part, but I want to enjoy it. And it's like even when it comes to investing, I want to enjoy it. Sometimes I don't want to even invest in I want to invest in people. So I see someone with a good business. I've got £5,000-10,000. I'll give him 10k. Yeah. We'll make an arrangement, sign a contract, and I'll invest in your business. I'll invest in your business, and if you don't want me to own it, we'll just agree how much you're going to pay me back over at what period of time, and I'll make a profit on it. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? If you want to invest, and I'll invest in your business. For me, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to own Google, but no one ever going to talk to me in Google. Do you know what I mean? But if I can own my mate's bakery, I can go down there and maybe get some cakes for free. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, I can enjoy my money. Do you know what I mean? I think that's when we start to think about it. We can be banks, like whether how small it is, we can operate as banks and look at, okay, I can take money in here, I can lend it out for a profit over there.
And I think it's important that people do recognise that as well, because if you've got a pot of 50 grand or 20 grand, whatever it might be, and let's say you are looking at property, well, because I do invest in property, but if you're looking now, we're at a minimum of 5%.
Yeah.
And what follows that? Reduced mortgage lending or reduced lending.
Yeah.
So, again, you're the expert, you're the advisor. You've already touched upon buy-to-let. Pretty much, well, it isn't the best investment.
No, not right now.
So if the house market's going down, reduce lending. So I wouldn't say don't invest. You can get started, but you've got to look at
the strategies.
Yeah.
Just make it sense to you. Like,
you've got to get educated.
Yeah, you've got to get educated, and that's why I know a lot of these courses can be quite expensive and so forth. But look at it, see what you can get, see what's available to you, and then just try and get a mentor. And remember, someone can mentor you online. You never met them. You can mentor. Some people have said, "Oh, you mentored me through your content," because some of the free content that we're giving, if you're actually listening, it's enough. If you've got the right mindset already,
if you know where you want to go, it's enough.
It's enough.
Yeah.
For a lot of the people it's not enough. You just don't know where you want to get to. You don't know how you don't know. So you need that guidance.
Or if you ask the right question,
yeah,
you'll get the answer that you need.
Exactly. And if you put yourself in the room,
there you go.
Sometimes a lot of the people I talk to now, you know how many times I do an event, they buy to buy the ticket. They're there. They sit in the front. It's not even my event. I'm going to talk at somebody else's event. They're there. Like, you meet someone so many times in real life, you just become. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's people that are purposely saying, "Look, I see your talent. I see your value. I just want to be in the room with you. I just want to get to know you." And you just end up getting to know them. I've got friends that I've known for years, and they're struggling to get a mortgage, and they wouldn't speak to me. And I've helped thousands of people get on the property ladder. But just out of the fact that we're friends and they want to keep it private, or they don't want to ask, or they don't want to make it awkward. But you're making it awkward. Just ask. It's what I do every day. Do you know what I mean? Why would you go somewhere else? And then when they mess up, then they go, "Hey man, I tried to do this and it didn't work. Can you help?" Of course I can. But now, we didn't need to be in this situation. Yeah. This is avoidable.
So for people that are listening, when is the next event?
So good question. So we've got the book launch. So the book launch is there. And then we've got some more events. Just get on the website, www.emmanuelasuquo.com, and then you'll see any events. Follow us on the Instagram, the E-Man Effect UK, the E-Man Effect UK on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Emmanuel Asuquo on LinkedIn if you want to add on LinkedIn. And please try and use LinkedIn more than you use Instagram. Please, just try that. Just try it. I promise you, it'll make you money. So, yeah, but that's me. That's the socials.
Wicked, man. I've got a few more questions. So, what's the best piece of advice you remember receiving?
I think the don't if you're on time you're late. That's the life changing one for me. But also be your authentic self. I think that's a great piece of advice. Like, I think sometimes we're trying to be other people. Like, you can be inspired, but that doesn't mean you have to become exactly like that person. Just take those bits and add it to yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is why you kind of answered it already.
Yeah.
But what's the biggest thing you've been wrong about since starting this journey? I
think I thought I couldn't write a book, and because I'm not good at writing, I said they've been trying to tell me to do a book for years. I'm like, I'm not good at writing, but then I realised that forget what you're not good at, focus on what you're good at, and pay someone for the things you're not good at. And then I got a writer, so all I did was voice note, and they just took what I said and then made it. I was like, I have a book now. I'm an author. Because sometimes in life we are so focused on the things that we're not good at that it freezes us from doing anything at all. Actually, and again, I learned this in business. If I can't do something, I'll just hire someone that can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn that, actually, don't worry about what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, and just make sure that whatever you're doing can pay for not only yourself, but the person you're hiring.
Mm.
Hey ho.
Yeah, there. And then obviously I've got like 2 more.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you know that others don't?
One thing I know that others don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think like there's so much information out there, but I think the biggest thing that I feel like I know, I just feel like I know my worth. I just know my value and my worth, and I know that it's not designed by like this whole consumerism. Like I feel like people, like I've got to do this brand. I've got to never. Never. I wear a plain shirt. I don't know brand. If I wear a brand, I wear a brand. But I don't. It doesn't make a difference to me. I feel just as confident in non-brand clothes as I do in branded clothes. It doesn't make a difference to me. I could be driving whatever car. I know who I am. I know. I've been through it. I've been through the time when I had no car. Like I went from having a Mercedes, being in the bank, and then having no car. Like literally, my wife had to pick me up. But I was still a man because I was doing that for my family. I was making those sacrifices for my family. So I'm not defined by anything society tries to say. I know who I am.
And the last one, mate, is Eman. How are you doing?
I'm good, my brother. I'm really good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. I tell people I feel light. You know what I mean? I feel like I just walk and there's no pressure. There's no pressure to be anyone else. There's no pressure to have anything else. I just live my life on my own terms, and I'm happy.
Perfect, man. I'm happy, and I can see it in you. That it's like a release.
Yeah.
Not that I could see that there was any tension when you was doing your content, but it's so nice to see that there is that you're happy.
Yeah.
That someone's in here, they're happy that you've gone through that journey, you've come out the other side, and I know for a fact that you're going to continue and just help so many more people. Thank
you, man. Thank you. Like I have to say, I've done so many podcasts, never one like this, man. You're so talented. Like just keep going. I knew this was going to be great. I just told you. One of your page, I saw your stuff. I was like, I know I got to get on this because I knew it's going to be great.
I appreciate it, man. I don't know why. I'll be honest, but I don't know why. It's only been going a couple of months, mate. But yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. I really do.
I've never had a podcast like this before.
Have you not?
Never, ever.
Really?
One of the best I've ever had in my life.
Wow, man. And
I've done hundreds.
Really?
I love it. This has been amazing, and it's just a natural gift that you have.
I really appreciate it, man. I think maybe because I've been through therapy or you can normally tell what people have.
Yeah.
I don't normally hold back.
Yeah.
That's I've been through similar things to you.
Yeah.
Not that obviously, but a lot of the school stuff.
It helps, yeah.
But yeah, I won't hold back if people ask me questions. I'm not in your position where I can openly talk. I can openly talk about stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like things with my dad. I don't talk to my dad. But would I pick up the phone? But no, I don't have his number. But would I try and find him?
Yeah.
That's a wound that I'm still dealing with at the minute. Yeah. But I haven't spoken to him since I was yay high.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was like, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, this is therapy for me because I've been through so many.
Yeah.
I've been homeless.
Yeah.
Twice actually through the ill health. So when you were saying like I've got epilepsy, got rheumatoid arthritis, when people give me excuses, I'm like, nah, I'll take 26 tablets a day just for my epilepsy alone.
Wow.
I'm on a chemo-based drug, so it don't fly. It don't wash with me.
No.
So, and obviously I've got the 3 kids, so it don't fly with me and my friend. Get off your ass. Yeah. In a nice way.
Yeah, of course.
Some people need a bit of tough love.
Yeah, they need it. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it don't. That's what my dad gave me was tough love up until what I remember, and then he just went. He was when you said about they only know how to show you love the way they was taught. He showed me how to use these, which that's what I was until I was 16, and then obviously when you go into later life, you think, hold on a minute, I can't keep being arrested.
No.
And then the path I chose was, actually, do I go that way with him, sell drugs, keep getting arrested, or no, I'm going to go this way, which is make money legitimately. So, yeah, man, and that's what I done.
Oh, amazing.
Which was, obviously I own a debt recovery business, went the property route, and unfortunately it didn't work out with me and the ex-wife, but we were still great friends. Yeah, good. Which is, kids, obviously we see each other all the time, man, which is actually more healthy, because when I was working, it's like what you were saying, it was just constant backwards, forwards. Yeah, man, but mate, it's been amazing having you, mate. I really, really appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you.
And taking the time. Like, sorry, I took a lot of your time.
No, I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed it. It's been amazing. It's been worth it.